Hello and welcome everybody to today's edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News Business. I'm your host Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on all our social networks and to catch us every day by logging onto our website mexiconewsnetwork.com for relevant stories and news. Let's start with today's show. Quintana Roo's manufacturing sector has recorded its most significant increase in production for over 10 years, with annual growth of 5.2%. The Industrial Activity Index measured that in June, manufacturing in Quintana Roo recorded its highest growth in 10.5 years. Seasonally adjusted figures show the industrial sector achieved annual growth of 54.1%, its most significant increase since December of 2015. Data supplied by the National Institute of Statistics and Geography shows that the manufacturing sector accumulated double-digit growth over the past 2 months, around 30%. Amongst the sectors monitored by the index, industrial manufacturing in Quintana Roo was the most impressive, with annual growth of 5.2%. Power generation, transmission and distribution of electricity, water and gas within the state produced an increase of 4.7%. It's worth noting that in May, this sector of energy recorded growth of over 80% for the region. The only states with greater local industry growth were Sinaloa and Nayarit, the former with an annual variation of 19.4% and the latter with growth of 18.6%. In the case of Sinaloa, June's industrial performance was the highest in 7.5 years, while Nayarit also achieved a double-digit increase. Moving on, Nestle has launched its 17th manufacturing plant located in Nantli, Ocotlán, with an investment of $245 million. The plant will manufacture exclusively baby milk powder formulas intended for local distribution and 21 export markets. This is the first plant dedicated to global production in 10 years, with 60% of production destined for local consumption and the rest for export markets, said Heiko Schiffer, Global CEO for Nestle Nutrition. In the 150-year history of Nestle, 86 of those years have been served in Mexico, operating 16 plants. And now, with its 17th plant, Mexico has become the company's 7th most important location after the USA, China, Germany, the UK and France. Laurent Freixi, head of the Americas, claimed that the intention is to elevate Mexico to become its 5th largest production outlet for global markets in the coming years. An investment is always a commitment to the future and a sign of belief in the potential of a market. Mexico is an open market with free trade agreements that enable us to focus on all our export activities. Ildefonso Guajardo, Economy Secretary, believes that the foreign direct investment made by Nestle sends important messages to the markets about the long-term viability of investing in Mexico. The investment will increase Mexico's exports of milk foods by 32%. For his part, Enrique Peña Nieto reiterated that Mexico is a country in which foreign investment is thriving, thanks to the implementation of structural reforms across industry, and that FDI during his term has exceeded $120 billion. Freixi confirmed that the Nantli plant, located on 60 hectares in Ocotlán, Jalisco, will use the latest in technology and sustainable energy, with 85% of the plant's power supplied by wind energy. The plant will support the creation of 2,000 direct and indirect jobs. In other headlines, millennials account for nearly a quarter of Mexico's population, and it's the segment of the workforce that most frequently switches jobs. Experts offer tips to employers on how not to only attract but also retain them in the workplace. Young people aged between 25 and 35, known as Generation Millennial, excel for their appetite for technology, they desire flexible working conditions, and to have a worthwhile career. They also have a reputation for jumping from job to job. So what is the strategy for attracting and holding on to them? According to INEGI, this population segment in Mexico currently stands at 30 million people. Experts agree that in order to attract and retain talent, also referred to as Generation Y, the most important factors to consider are effective communication, developing a clearly defined career plan, offer a competitive salary, but above all, implement an emotional salary. Edson Balestri, Director of Talent Solutions for LinkedIn, says that transparent communication is essential to luring millennials. If the recruitment ad is not well defined or accurate, when the candidate takes on the job, if the first thing that he or she perceives is that the role is not the same as the offer, then this will significantly ramp up personnel rotation for the company, said Balestri. Another important detail for companies trying to woo the best talent is to be competitive with salaries and benefits. This is one of the main reasons for employee turnover when it comes to millennials. In terms of professional development, experts point out that millennials want to have a job that means something. They also hope that companies have a career plan for them that will constantly spark new challenges and that allows them to grow not only in terms of salary or position, but also in knowledge and skills. For millennials, salary is no longer of the primary importance. What counts now is their relationship with the boss, the workplace atmosphere, flexible working conditions, availability of techie tools for the job, choosing their office space, or the possibility of working from home. All of these types of initiatives add up to exactly what a person who has the possibility to evaluate a job offer, the fact that I can get paid this salary, but I also have these benefits on top, and I feel good because they're paying me emotionally too, explained Fernando Calderon, Director of Marketing and PR for OCC Mundial. In summary, a study by Boomerang showed that 61% of professionals hate routine and indicated that this is their prime weakness, being a major catalyst for boredom and feeling rapidly demotivated. And finally, let's take a look at the markets. The Mexican peso decreased 0.12% to 18.89 from 18.91 in the previous trading session. The peso changed down 2.28% during the last week, was up 0.19% during the last month, and was up 14.74% during the last year. Mexico IPC index increased 1.4% to 48,265 from 47,597 in the previous trading session. Mexico's IPC index changed up 1.39% during the last week, up 3.89% during the last month, and was up 8.76% during the last year. This was all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman, and remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Log on to MexicoNewsNetwork.com for more information on Mexico and the world. Until next time.